Come on in.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Lindsay from Sun King Brewery. We've been researching the Muncie area, and we've discovered that the Harriet has one of the best beer selections in the area. So we think that your establishment would be the perfect place to start producing our line.
Okay. Sun King, the Sun King Brewery, you guys, Indianapolis, is
Yep.
that right?
We
Okay.
are a local brewery from the Indianapolis area.
So you're fairly close then. Are you the closest one to us of the breweries, I think?
Yes,
is that
we
right?
are the fresh local beer. There's only 3
Okay.
breweries currently in Indiana,
Right.
and we are the closest one to you.
All right, have a seat.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and ask you a few questions to really assess your needs and figure out what choices would be the best for you.
Okay.
Okay. Do you often feature specialty beers that your menu changes a lot, or is your menu pretty much set?
Our menu does change quite often, as a matter of fact, as far as beers is concerned, and food too, I guess. We have our basics in food and beers that it seems like most people want, but we've got so many different varieties that people can choose from that we keep pretty well stocked up with stuff.
Okay. What are your 3 most popular selling beers at this time?
Oh, that's a good one. I'm not sure we've got, a one that's, because it's really different strokes for different folks. We like people that like the real dark beers. We've got people that like the real light beers. We've got people that are looking for, sort of like exotic. I don't know if exotic's the right word, but exotic, different beers to be able just to come in and taste. So we carry 60 drafts, and we have 300 bottle choices of beers here. So our general, we've got anything from Gumball Head to Groton Brown types of beers. So our favorite little saying is, if we don't have it, you don't need it, type of thing. So we've got most beers that people need, I think.
Do you sell mostly draft, canned, or bottled beer?
We really don't sell cans except for takeout. So our draft and our bottles tend to sell better, but we always get the people that have been here for a while and say, hey, do you have that in a 6-pack of cans? And they'll take some to go.
So cans do sell to some extent?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your target market? What's your usual clientele like?
Pretty much Muncie folks. We're here in downtown Muncie, but we've also got, Ball State University. Pretty much Muncie, Ball State clientele.
So you do get a lot of Ball State students?
Yeah, we get a good chunk, it seems like.
Okay. What's the average price you charge for each beer?
Again, that varies. That varies according to what we're paying for the beers. Some have put a little higher quality price tag on their beers. Like you can get a Budweiser or Miller Lite pretty inexpensive. If you want a Heineken, you're going to spend more money. So yeah, that really depends.
So customers really enjoy quality then?
Yeah, they do. But again, at the same time, we've got people who will come in and just say, they'll just come in for our specials because they want to have the dollar bottle beer night, so they want to come in and get the best price that they can for it. And it seems like I get a lot of the Ball State people that are along those lines.
Great. Have you ever tried our Sun King beer? Have you been to our tasting room?
No, I can't say that I have.
Okay. Does your company recycle?
Yes, we do. We recycle our bottles and kegs. Our kegs go back, obviously, and our bottles we recycle
Okay.
all the time.
Does your bar often throw events where you need to have great travelability, be able to move your product around?
Have what now?
Do you throw events outside of your bar that you need to be able to move your kegs and move your beer supply to serve crowds?
Yeah, on occasion, but not very often. We'll have people that will want to buy kegs for their events, and we'll supply kegs for that. And on occasion, you know, we've got Muncie Gras here in town and that, but we're still restricted on where we can go and serve beer. So we don't do a lot of that unless it's run by another organization.
Okay, great. Do you know a lot about Sun King Brewery already?
Just know that you guys are in Indianapolis. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we were founded just recently. Our first keg didn't run out for delivery until 2009. So we are a relatively new brand, which is why we're trying to get our foot in the door at Muncie. We have expanded rapidly, and we're trying to expand outside of our Indianapolis borders now. We've actually won a lot of great awards. You know, our beer tastes great. People really seem to enjoy it, and the people who really know beer appreciate our product. So what you would be getting is a quality product from us. They said we are now the third largest brewery in the state of Indiana. They said we are growing, and these are our founders. I mean, they're young guys. They understand what the young crowd wants. They understand how to brew great beer. Based on what you told us.
And they've been doing this since when?
2009.
2009.
But so far,
see, that's a concern with me for a small brewery. Is you know, because you talked about you're the third largest in Indiana, and Indiana breweries are great. But the bottom line for us is who provides the best services. So being able to get things delivered on time even sometimes in short notice, those are things that are really important to us. And you know, everybody has their different beers and flavors and all that type of thing, and you can buy from a wide variety of different people, as we do. But the services are the key things that really determine who we use.
Well, I'm really glad that you mentioned that. I think that because we are such a small brewery, each customer is so much more important to us than it would be to a large brewery like Bud Light. Bud Light doesn't know who the Harriet is. We do. You guys are a very important customer to us, and that's why we take the time to make sure you get the best service possible. I do have our business card and brochure down here, and I've already written my personal cell phone number and the number of our distribution. So anytime you have a problem, you can get a hold of us right away. Your beer is always delivered within a week, and anytime anything arrives damaged, we replace it right away.
Okay. Now, I live on the computer, so do you have a website that has product information and has...
Yes, we do. It should be on the front here. Sorry, it should be somewhere. Yeah, right here. You can find us on Facebook, Flickr, Twitter, Yelp. We're on all the social networking sites.
Okay.
And then we're also at sunkingbrewery.com. I think that's the actual URL. But if you just search us online, you should be right there.
See if that pops up. sunkingbrewery.com.
And that does have information in there for our tasting rooms, since I know you haven't tried our beer. I couldn't really bring you beer today because I'm not licensed to distribute individual cans, of course.
Well, that's too bad.
I agree. But I have it, I have you set up already with our door manager that if you come in, you and 4 or 5 of your coworkers can go ahead and get into our tasting room for free for one try. And each time you do, you get 4 tickets and 2 tokens to sample our beer. The reason you get that many tickets and tokens is that we do have 3 house beers, which I'll go ahead and talk to you about now. But we have 3 house beers, and then we also constantly rotate a seasonal beer.
Okay. Now, on your website here, I'm not really wild about signing up for newsletters and things like that, but can I get on here and order product?
I believe you can, but when you go through the website, you don't get the personal experience that you do with the rest of us, with working with an actual sales representative.
Okay.
We do have 3 house beers: Osiris, Weemac, and Sunlight. And apparently something best for you to look at. Since you're discussing that your customers really enjoy a unique flavor, I would recommend the Osiris. Go ahead and take a look at the can. We have a very pretty, unique design to our cans. They look great sitting on a shelf. Customers think they're interesting and they want to try them.
So you already got off to an early start this morning, is that right?
No, that was research done previously.
Oh, okay, I see. All right.
They said Osiris is currently our best-selling product.
And why is that?
Well, this is actually our most unique beer. It's really got a different citrusy, spicy taste to it, and at the end of the brewing process, it's dry hopped, so it really gives that extra punchy flavor. It's definitely our most unique selling beer. It's not my personal
So is it more
favorite.
of a bitter or smoother?
It's more of a bitter tasting beer. It's very hoppy, but it's got a spice. It's got a citrus kick to it. It's a unique beer.
Okay.
So since your customers said you're really looking to try stuff outside of the box with your customers, that's the one I would recommend. Our Sunlight otherwise tastes a little bit. Yeah, here's our Osiris page. But the Sunlight
And do you
beer,
sell this by can and by keg?
can and by keg.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Sunlight beer tastes a little bit more like a Busch Light. It's a cream ale. It's like a more sophisticated domestic beer. So for the college kids that come in that aren't really ready to try something too extreme, I would recommend the Sunlight to be your second choice. That can with me as well. As you see, they're just a very pretty designed can. They draw attention. I really like them. Would you be more interested in purchasing a keg or a can?
I think at first, because like I said, our cans are mainly carry out.
Mm-hmm.
So if they haven't really tried it before, odds are they're gonna grab the bottles and stuff if they're
Mm-hmm.
sitting in here drinking. I don't know why that is. People seem to have that preference to drink out of the bottles when
Mm-hmm.
they're at the bar. I don't know if they think they look more sophisticated or what, but as we go through, I think we'd be more interested in the kegs at first, just because, you know, like I said, the cans are mainly our carry-out stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And if they haven't tried your beer before, I think they'd want to try it, and then they'd be saying, okay, hey, can we grab that? Now I start getting those kinds of questions. That's
Mm-hmm.
typically when I contact the companies and say, hey, we need some cans too.
Okay. I do understand your preference for cans versus bottles over cans. It seems like people do gravitate towards those. I just want to let you know why we do sell in cans instead of bottles. They ship better, they store better. Our cans are very decorative compared to the usual bottles, so I think they do draw attention.
Yeah.
They are recyclable, and you don't have to worry about broken glass on your floor. Plus, as I peel back on here, you can see that we have a food grade liner on our cans that prevents that aluminum-y taste that bottles sometimes give.
Oh, okay.
And then I've also discovered that the cans over the bottles protects beer from the sunlight, protects it from the oxygen. So really the cans do provide a better quality beer if you do choose to go that way.
Yeah. Well, we don't really get our beers much in the sunlight very often, and to be honest with you, we don't stock such an enormous amount that it's in our warehouse all that long.
Mm-hmm.
So we turn the product over fairly quickly. So, but yeah, those are nice advantages though.
Since you are more interested in the keg, going the keg direction, we do sell half barrel kegs of Osiris Pale Ale, and that is $445 for a keg. But we've discovered that it doesn't really sit around very long. People, once they get to trying Osiris, they really tear it off the shelves. It does come with an $80 keg deposit, but once you return the keg, of course, your deposit gets refunded back to you. You're used to that, I'm sure. And as we get more comfortable as customer and client, we will go ahead and end up waiving that keg deposit after the first couple rounds. And we do sell tap with each of our kegs. It's a decorative tap that comes on top of it'll show up over the bar, and it draws attention. Again, it advertises the beer right there in your bar.
So how much more is the tap?
The tap is free.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to keep it after if you should have any problems. It's a really pretty tap, and it adds aesthetic to your bar.
Have you ever worked with any bars to have a Sun King beer night?
I have had a few bars that they usually prefer to feature it as like a beer of the week or a happy hour beer that if you try Sun King during this hour, it sells better. And then once people try it, they become accustomed to that, and they're requesting to try more Sun King.
Yeah, because I was thinking, now the difference in these, is this the third?
Yes, this is WeMac.
Is this one of the others that you said you had here
Yes,
to talk
this is
about?
this is our third house beer. It's a
So-
Scottish style beer. It's got a raisin roast flavor to it. Again, it's very unique.
Okay, so this is your, sort of the bitter, is this a smoother type
That's
of
a
beer? then?
smoother beer.
And where does this one fall in with
This is a
those?
dark roast beer.
Okay, so
It's-
how does it compare bitter-wise to these two?
Go ahead and check it out.
I mean, if it's really close to the Osiris or the cream ale, I'd rather have something that's a little different than the two, sort of falls in between the areas, or does the Osiris fall in between these two? How does that work?
The Osiris is definitely the most extreme. It's for a much
Sort of
more
like that?
Yes,
then
it's a
you
much
think?
more
Okay.
sophisticated flavor. It's the hardest beer to drink and get used to. You really have to drink half a beer to really figure out what you're drinking. The WeMac is like a darker roasted beer. It has different flavors coming through. It's much more subtle. And
Well, after so much beer, the flavor doesn't seem to matter that much
Yeah.
anymore, anyway, does it?
that's when you switch to the Busch Light.
Yeah.
It's just a little bit cheaper. The Sunlight, though, is more like a Busch Light or a Bud Light, where it's just very crisp and clean. It's smooth to drink.
Okay.
So this is more for the not such sophisticated beer drinker that isn't used to going way outside their comfort zone.
Well, I think I'd be interested in maybe finding out how these might go with the Muncie market. So I'd be willing to give it a try, I think.
Okay, great.
I'd like to do it in that sort of Sun King beer night thing. So how do you guys have a special way you set that kind of thing up? Because I don't want to do it to where it's just a happy hour deal. I'd rather it be an evening event. And do you guys sponsor things like that where?
That is a great idea. If you would be willing to purchase one of each of the kegs,
Yeah.
depending on how big of a crowd you think you can get in there. I mean, do you think you would fill the
Well, it
restaurant?
depends on the night. If we go a Thursday night, we'll be filled. Yeah.
Okay. Then I would recommend at least going for the 5.6 gallon keg for each purchase. That's $56 a keg. That you have one keg of each of the specialty beers.
Okay.
Then we'll go ahead and throw in our seasonal beer at the time, depending on the date that you choose to go with it.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Before we get that all written up and everything, probably what I should do is find out what events we've got coming up, what Thursday night would be better, so that I've got an exact date for you, and then go ahead and get everything signed up and set. So if you could give me a little chance to do that, maybe next time through your territory we can get that all signed up, and then maybe you could dig into what other types of things you guys could offer at that event.
Okay, that sounds great. In the meantime, can I go ahead and set an appointment for you to come to our tasting room and sample all of our beer?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll have to get back with you on that because I have to take a look at my schedule on getting that taste thing set up. But I'd like to do that before we have the event.
Okay, great. Do you have any other questions for me tonight, Mr. Smith?
Not really.
Okay. I'll go ahead and leave that for you. Again,
Okay.
there's a sample for, to show them the business card. It'll get into our tasting room. If you don't have time to set an appointment beforehand, that's fine.
So when will you be back in the territory that we can finalize this stuff then?
I'll be in this area again next week.
Okay, that sounds good. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for
I look
speaking
forward to
with me.
working with you. Cut.